It has compulsory military service for men, it's one of the 4 Asian tigers, and its official language is written in a brilliantly simple script. These are just 3 of the things that you're going to learn about South Korea. Welcome to the GeoFocus channel. Today we're focusing on South Korea, one of the fastest growing economies in the world. It's an incredibly important country with its highly advanced technology as well as its current influence on global pop culture. And you probably see South Korea on the news because of its conflict with North Korea. South Korea is situated on the southern half of the Korean peninsula, which is located in Northeast Asia near China and Japan. It's surrounded by 3 seas, the Yellow Sea to the west, the East China Sea to the south, and the Sea of Japan to the east, which Koreans refer to as the East Sea, not the Japan Sea. The only country that South Korea shares a land border with is North Korea. Japan is very close by, but you can only get there by boat or airplane. It has a total land area of 100,210 square kilometers, which makes it about 20,000 square kilometers smaller than North Korea. South Korea as a single country is a little smaller than Iceland and a little bigger than Hungary. The entire Korean peninsula, however, is almost the same size as the UK. Historical Korea included all of the Korean peninsula, so why is Korea divided? Well, during World War II it was occupied by Japan, and when Japan was defeated, the Soviet Union and the United States divided the peninsula into northern and southern occupation zones. The north moved towards communism under Soviet influence, and the south moved towards capitalism under American influence. 5 years later, in 1950, a war broke out between the North and the South, known as the Korean War, which lasted for 3 years. North Korea was supported by China and the Soviet Union, while South Korea had the United Nations support. Sadly, nearly 5 million people died during that war. Because the 2 countries are still technically at war, South Korea enforces compulsory military service for men, so all men older than 18 must serve in the military for around 20 months. Though not everyone goes straight into the military when they turn 18. Service can be delayed for up to 10 years. About 70% of the Korean peninsula is covered by mountains. Although North Korea has the tallest mountains, South Korea also has some major mountain ranges such as Taebaek, which straddles the border with North Korea, and Sobaek, as well as Jirisan, the second tallest mountain in South Korea. I'll tell you about number 1 later. Unlike its neighbor Japan, South Korea has neither active volcanoes nor major fault lines. This makes the country much less prone to earthquakes. South Koreans experience 4 distinct seasons every year. Winters are cold and dry, which might explain why overcoats are such a big part of Korean fashion. In Seoul, the average temperatures in January range from -5 degrees Celsius to 1.5 degrees Celsius, whereas the summers are short, warm, and humid, with August temperatures normally ranging between 22 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius. Jeju Island has a milder climate than the other parts of South Korea. It's warmer in the winter, with January temperatures normally ranging from 2.5 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius, but it does get more rain than the rest of South Korea. South Korea has several types of top-tier administrative divisions. There are 9 provinces, 6 metropolitan cities, and 2 special cities. The metropolitan and special cities are top-tier divisions, meaning that they're not part of a larger division like a province. Seoul, officially Seoul Special City, is the capital city and the biggest city in the country with a population of 9.7 million. It also has one of the biggest metropolitan economies in the world. It's located in the northwest of the country next to the longest river in Korea, the Han River. Seoul has been Korea's capital since the year 1394, though since the division of the country it has only been the capital of South Korea. Even the city's name itself is derived from the word meaning capital in Korean. Despite being an ancient city, it has one of the best and most modern subway systems in the world, which transports around 7 million passengers per day. The only problem is that the trains stop running pretty early, normally before midnight, so if you stay out late with your friends, you may have to make a mad dash for the last train or just stay out all night. The other special self-governing city is Sejong. It's the smallest top-tier administrative division in the country, with a population of only 351,000. The city is named after the great king Sejong. You may wonder exactly what's so special about the city. Well, it's a significant city because it's planned that in the year 2030, construction of the city will be finished, and all the government institutions will be moved to the city, and Sejong will become the new capital of South Korea. The intention is to move the capital to a new city to achieve more balanced regional development in the country. After years of controversy, the preparations have now begun, and it's planned that Sejong will be the new capital starting from 2030. Another important place in South Korea is Jeju province. It is the country's largest island, located to the southwest of the peninsula. It's actually a volcanic island, and it's on UNESCO's World Heritage List. Jeju is known as the Hawaii of Korea, with a lot of natural wonders like waterfalls, beaches, mountains, and much more. So the island might be a good destination for a relaxing holiday. In the center of the island, there's an amazing hiking area, Hallasan National Park, known for its biodiversity as the home of hundreds of different animals and around 1,565 vascular plant species. Mount Hallasan is also the tallest mountain in South Korea at 1,947 meters high. The dialect of Korean spoken in Jeju is more different from Standard Korean than any other dialect. It's sometimes considered a different language from Korean. Of the 51 million people living in South Korea, most have no religion, at 56.1%. Christianity is the most common religion, with 19.7% Protestant and 7.9% Catholic. Another common religion is Korean Buddhism, with 15.5%, while 0.8% of the population believes in other religions. Korean shamanism is a traditional folk religion that predates the arrival of Buddhism and Christianity. It involves polytheism as well as communication with ancestors. It's still practiced to some extent and has had an influence on the way other religions are practiced. Despite some religious diversity, South Korea is not a country with a lot of ethnic or racial diversity. Most of the residents are ethnically Korean. There are also 2.5 million foreign residents in South Korea, of which roughly 1 million are Chinese. The official language of the country is Korean, which is quite a unique language. It often used to be classified as a member of the Ural-Altaic language family, but nowadays the majority of linguists consider it a language isolate, meaning that it belongs to its own isolated language family, but with a significant amount of Chinese-derived vocabulary. The Korean language has its own alphabet called Hangul, and learning to read and write it is incredibly easy. For more information on the Korean language, check out my Lang-Focus video on the topic right here. South Korea and North Korea have gone in different directions regarding their relations with other countries. North Korea became more isolated, and South Korea kept up its good relations with the US and the West and developed a more open, capitalist economy. Its modern pop culture developed with heavy influence from Western pop culture, and it resulted in a sort of Korean-Western synthesis. In recent years, Korea has come to be known around the world for K-pop and Korean dramas. The Korean wave, or Hallyu, seems to be gaining more and more momentum by the day. The first big K-pop hit that I remember is Gangnam Style, which was released in 2013. But now a whole slew of idol groups like BTS and Blackpink have taken the world by storm. South Korea's capitalist economy has developed into the 10th largest economy in the world. This is in part thanks to its huge electronics industry, which includes global giants like Samsung and LG Electronics. Korea is also known for its automotive industry and is one of the world's biggest car-producing countries. Hyundai cars in particular can be found all over the world. South Korea is considered one of 4 Asian tigers, along with Hong Kong, Singapore, and Taiwan, because of its fast-growing economy. The workforce of the country is highly educated and highly skilled, though many young people complain that the country's economic growth doesn't result in enough job opportunities for them. This is partly because South Korea's giant family-run corporations called chaebol try to avoid increasing the size of their workforce even while growing. But it's also because young people don't really want to work in blue-collar jobs such as in factories. A moment ago I mentioned Asian tigers. Did you know that the Siberian tiger is considered to be the national animal of South Korea, representing their aggressively successful economy as well as being a cultural symbol? Siberian tigers used to roam around the Korean peninsula, but the last tiger was killed in 1935. Korea is home to plenty of intriguing animals though, including the Asiatic black bear, the Siberian musk deer, look at those teeth, and the long-tailed goral. In total, there are up to 18,000 different species. South Korea is a fascinating country because of everything mentioned in this video. Don't worry, it's a safe country despite its lingering conflict with North Korea. And if you visit, I promise that you'll never fail to find amazing food there. If you leave South Korea unsatisfied, you're doing it wrong. Now over to you. What's the most interesting thing you learned about South Korea from this video? And if you're from South Korea, what else would you like us to know about your country? Leave your answers in the comments down below. Do you want to see videos on the GeoFocus channel before anyone else? Become a member of this channel and you'll see videos 1 week early, along with other benefits. For more information, click the join button, which is right next to the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.